Good morning, everyone. My name is Thanajayo. Many of us here have been practicing meditation. Okay, some of you have been doing this for many years. Okay, and some of you may be new, but again, you are willing to learn and practice meditation, and that's something to me. It's very wonderful because meditation is really important, and there are something that maybe we should pay attention. Okay, we want to be a good meditator. We want to be successful in our meditation practice. Again, this topic may be able to you may be able to use this information to help you to improve your meditation practice. So I call it the characteristics of a good meditator. Okay, from the Buddhist text perspective. Buddhist text means the Buddhist scripture. Okay, not from any Dhamma book. It's the primary source that allow us to get to the teaching of the Buddha. This is the closest place we can get to his teaching. This is the Buddhist text. Okay, the Buddhist text usually written in Pali, and later on the Buddhist scholar translated to English, to Chinese, to different languages. So nowadays it's easy for us to access to the teaching of the Buddha wherever you are, whatever language you speak. Okay, and that's the nice thing of technology. So before we get into the scope of the today's topic, we should ask ourselves about why we meditate. Okay, because we want to know the characteristic of good meditator. Okay, there are some keywords here: the characteristic and meditation, right? So why people meditate? Why do you meditate? Why Luang Pi meditate? That's the question that I think is probably the most fundamental question we need to be able to answer to ourselves when we practice meditation, right? So there may be many answers to this kind of question, but when I check from the text, okay, from the Buddhist text, I want to know what the Buddha said, or what the monks back then what they mean by practice meditation. So let me start from here. At least two of these short discourse give us some idea. Let me read it for you. The first one, it said, "Wonderful indeed it is to control the mind, so difficult to control, ever swift and ceasing whatever it desire. A tame mind brings happiness." That's the first one. It's very short, but it has a quite deep meaning. Okay. And the second one said, "Let the discerning man guard the mind, so difficult to detect and extremely certain, seizing whatever it desire." And it's end up with, "A guarded mind brings happiness." So with these two discourses, it tells us a lot of things. First one, it tells us the nature of human mind. As you can see, the human mind is difficult to control. Human mind always moving, and human mind is always going out to whatever it like, whatever it desire. And this said it's extremely difficult to detect. We don't know where the mind is, but we kind of aware that the mind exists. And it's extremely subtle. It's refined. It's a refined element. We cannot see it from our physical eyes. But when we meditate, we want to still the mind. We want to have the mind stay in one place, but we cannot see the mind. Okay, that's the issue. And not only that, another thing that comes with these two discourse is that it tells us that the mind need to be trained in order for us to be happy. A guarded mind brings happiness. The mind unguarded brings us suffering. So the nature of the mind and why we need to meditate, because we need to train our mind. We need to be able to take full control of our own mind. And that's at least two things that come from these two discourse from the Buddhist text. Okay, what is the goal of meditation then? Why people meditate? Okay, so as we learned earlier, human mind is everywhere. It's always think. It's traveling very fast. It's traveling very far. It's moving all the time, never stop. Even while you listen to me right now, you may be thinking of a lot of things, of your work, of the virus, of economics, of a lot of things, but you're listening to the monks. You see, that's the nature of the mind. There are so many techniques that mentioned in the Buddhist Text. I don't know if you may have heard this. This is called Visuddhimagga, the path of purification. Okay, this is a good book. It's English. It explains a lot of things about meditation. 40 techniques that the Buddha mentioned is explained in this book. Okay, very thoroughly about how to meditate, how to still the mind. So, if you think of the way to train the mind, okay, I want you to look at this picture. The picture that on the screen, you see the horse, you see the pole, and you see the shade or the rope that tie the horse with the pole. And this is how the cowboys train the horse. When the cowboy get the new wild horse, he cannot just get on the horse and ride the horse. The horse wouldn't allow him to do that. Okay, so he need to train the horse first. And the way they train the horse, they usually tie the horse with the pole, and this pole they call is the patient pole. The patient pole. So they tie the horse, the wild horse, with the pole, and play with the horse. Let the horse run, touch with the horse, allow the horse to get used to that, that environment, that new environment. Get used to the smell, get used to the place, get used to human, and then eventually the horse will stay still and allow we to work on it more. Okay, so in the same sense here, this is how we train the mind. Imagine that the mind is like the horse. Okay, the horse don't want to stay still. It's always want to run, keep on running. Don't want to stay still. Okay, so in order for us to still the mind, we need some technique. Okay, so we tie the horse or we tie the mind with something called sati. The ropes or the chain is like sati that tie the mind. Tie to what? Tie to the pole, and this pole is called samadhi or meditation or concentration. If we want the mind to be still, we have to tie the mind with something until the mind get used to that stillness, and eventually the mind will stay still. So let me give you an example. Many of you may have heard about anapanasati or breathing meditation. Okay, so when someone practice breathing meditation, that person tie the mind with their own breath. Okay, instead of just breathing in and out, think of nothing. So we attach the mind with the breathing. Every time we breathe out, we know that we breathe out. Every time we breathe in, we know that we breathe in. So the mind cannot go anywhere because we give the mind some work to do. What kind of work? The work of the mind is to stay with the breathing. So we attach the mind with the breathing. So we breathing in, we breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And eventually the mind will get used to be able to stay still. Okay? So that's the general idea. So here we come to the three keywords here. Concentration, which is the mind stay still, and sati is something that we tie the mind. Okay, it's the technique that we tie the mind. We call it sati or mindfulness, which there are many techniques that you can use to help you develop mindfulness or sati. And the last one is the mind. Okay, sometimes you may heard people talk about the mind is like the monkey mind. It's always jumping, moving from one tree to another. Okay, it's a similar idea. So here I hope you see the picture. And in the text it's also mentioned that meditation is a unification of human mind, of the mind, undistract or unscattered mind. Or we can say when we meditate, the goal of meditation is to have the mind stay still. Okay? And if you check the dictionary, some dictionaries said meditation is contemplating. Contemplating means you sit and you think of something in your meditation, which is opposite from what it says from the Buddhist text. Okay? Meditation is the way or the technique that allowing us to train the mind to be still. Okay? It doesn't say still where. Okay? Outside the body or inside the body, it doesn't mention that, but it is the way to still the mind, and that's what the meaning of meditation. And I believe it makes sense. When I myself meditate, I want my mind to stay still. I want myself to free from thoughts, worry, and anxiety. And that's what I want from meditation. I don't know if that's the same thing that you are looking for when you meditate, okay? But that's the meaning of meditation or concentration from the Buddhist text itself, okay? So, if we want to develop a characteristic to help us to be a good meditator, we need to kind of leaning toward this dimension, to do whatever it takes to help us to still the mind comfortably, to help us to still the mind more effectively. Okay, so keep that picture in mind. So that's the characteristic that we should develop. Okay, so I share with you today from at least to this course from two sutra that the Buddha actually teach the monk to develop good characteristic for the monk to have a good meditation. Okay, the first set of characteristics, I call the first set because I prepared two sets for you. Okay. And here is the first one, the characteristic of a good meditator. The first set, it starts from, this is from Anguttara Nikaya, okay, from the Buddhist text called Anguttara Nikaya. It starts with faith, okay, faith or passion. This is the first characteristic that monks or the lay people who wants to have good meditation should cultivate or develop, okay, to have faith and passion. What is mean by faith and passion? Okay, meditation is like any subject that we can learn. Mathematics, biology, chemistry, philosophy. We need to learn from someone. Okay, we need to find good teacher, whether a living teacher or a books or YouTube or whatever it is. We need to learn from some place. We need to start from somewhere. So the first thing we should develop is to have some initial faith toward that teacher, toward that subject, toward that learning process. So for us to be success, we must have teacher. Okay, find good teacher, study, listen to what he teach. Okay, after you listen, you think of what you learn from him, and after you think it through, you consider it through, and then you put everything into practice. So four things: find good teacher, listen to his teaching, and think about it, ponder about it, until it becomes your own knowledge, and put it into practice. These four things can apply to all subjects that you want to learn, that you want to be success, in business, in meditation as well. So you must have faith toward your teacher or the technique that you practice with passion, wholeheartedly. Otherwise, you cannot be success in meditation practice. And as you walk through this journey of meditation or spiritual developments, you will be encountering a lot of things that you never experienced before. We're talking about training the mind to be still. Okay, when the mind is still, the inner experience start happening. And many of us, we have not gone that far, but our teacher, they have more experience than us. So when we are encounter, experience that we have doubt, then at least we have someone that can help us clarify, that can help us answer all the questions that we have. Okay, so that is why I believe, finding or choosing teacher, it's first important step for us to be success in meditation. You can find any technique that you want. Okay, and the book that I mentioned, this book mentioned at least 40 techniques. I used to ask myself why the Buddha did not give just one technique and everyone practice the same, make it easier. Simply because human being, we don't like the same thing. Okay, we don't like the same food. You like pizza, I like fried rice. People like bread, some people like noodle. But at the end, we can enjoy that food and we get energy. Same thing in meditation. There's so many techniques out there. You just have to find one or a few that you feel good about it and stay with it long enough, and then you get the result. But the thing is, no matter what technique you choose, at the end, it will give the same result. And what is that result? Remember, meditation means training the mind to be still. So in these 5 techniques, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever technique you choose, at the end, every technique should lead us to still the mind. to the same place. You think of 5 medicines. If I inject 5 medicine into my finger, 5 fingers, every medicine will go to my heart, go to the same place. So same notion, same idea. Whatever technique you practice, it will help you to still your mind. Okay? And the second characteristic is healthy. You see, the Buddha not just pay 100% focus on developing the mind, still the mind. He pay attention to physical body as well. So in order for the mind to be still, okay, especially in the long run, you must have a good health. Good health means, physically healthy, okay? And there are ways to do that, right? In the text, he also mentioned of how to maintain or having good health as well, which I will later explain a little bit more. But here, 2 things keep in mind. To be healthy, first, eating right. Second one, exercise regularly. 2 things. Everyone seems to know that. But the question is, do you normally do this? Mindful for what you eat and exercise every day, at least 30 minutes. How many people actually be able to do that? We know it's good, but many times we don't do it. And that's the thing. So my own experience, when I joined the long retreat, we're talking about 3 months, 6 months, and I experienced it myself. I'm a person not very much into exercise. I feel like it's a waste of time. I should go meditate more. But the thing is, after 1 week or 2 weeks, my body not allow me to go further. I cannot enjoy meditation whatsoever because of my muscle, my body pain, physical pain. Because you sit 6 hours, 8 hours a day without exercising. How long can you keep on doing that? After 2 weeks, my body stopped. It's not allow me to enjoy meditation no more. So I have to start over again. I have to learn how to stretch up, learn how to do yoga, learn how to make exercise, learn how to eat right. Not too much carbohydrate, maybe more vegetable, less meat or something like that. Work it around until I regain my energy back, and then I can enjoy meditation more. If you don't exercise, you cannot have a good meditation. So if you love meditation, you should love exercise, okay? And take good care of your physical body. I hope that makes sense to everyone. And the second one, honest. The third characteristic is honest. Honest in this case means, many times we meet with our teacher or our friend and then we share experience. You should be honest with your own experience, telling the truth. Don't have to sugarcoat it, don't have to elaborate it. Okay? Don't what we call boasting or boastful, showing off that you have good meditation than others. Meditation is not competition. There's no competitor. This is your own world, your own mind. You train your own mind. You don't train someone else's mind. So you know yourself how good you are, what level you at. So when you are asked, you just tell your teacher the truth. Okay? Tell your friend the truth. So we learn from your friend, we learn from each other experience. That's one way of learning. That's one way of developing our meditation practice, by asking questions, by listening to people's experience. But when it's time for you to share your experience, you just be honest, okay, and share with people with open-minded. Okay, that's the idea behind honest characteristic. And number 4 is perseverance. For us to be success in anything, I think this is everyone's, seem to understand, quite easily. Persevere has to be there, just like the 4C concept that I mentioned, right? So consciousness, comfort, consistency, and check. Perseverance is continue doing it. No matter what happened. As a monk, my master said, no matter what happened in your life on each day, whether a good day or a bad day, you must meditate. There's no negotiate, no question asked. You must meditate. So stick with your routine. Have high self-discipline to meditate. Perseverance. If you are lay people, you can find time to meditate and stick with your schedule. For example, you can meditate on the bus while you're going to work, or in the office, in your bedroom. I don't know, find time. Don't just allow yourself to escape this routine by saying to yourself that, oh, today is a busy day, today is a hectic day, I need a rest, maybe I meditate later. Okay? That is not the attitude of good meditator. So no matter what happens, whether it rain, whether it snow, whether coronavirus, whether something else, it doesn't matter. Okay, just meditate, because it's always benefit you. There's nothing can harm you by sitting, closing your eyes and meditate. It's only benefit you, and that's the thing. Keep that in mind. So perseverance has to be there. And number 5, wisdom. Okay, so like I said, eventually you will run into problem. You will run into question, because we don't have that much experience in meditation. But the master, the teacher, they have more experience than us. They have gone through a lot of hardship, a lot of difficult time until they success in that meditation. So we need to at least be able to ask the right question, okay, with the teacher. Usually wisdom or panya in Pali, wisdom in Buddhism has 2 meanings. The first one is fully understanding of things. When you meditate, let's say you pick anapanasati or breathing meditation, you must fully understand the technique, how it works. You must be clear of how to do it. Ask questions until you have no doubt left in your mind that this is the right way to practice breathing meditation. And the second meaning of wisdom is, once you are fully understand, that knowledge or that wisdom will lead you to liberation. You will be fully liberated from what? From doubt, from question. There will be no place in your mind that have doubt left if you have full understanding. So open up yourself, approach your teacher, ask questions from friends, from people you think that they may be able to answer your question. Don't be afraid to ask. Okay, so that's number 5 characteristic, from the first sutra from Anguttara Nikaya. Okay, hope everyone follows so far. Okay, let's move on to the second set of the good characteristic of good meditator. Okay, this is from different sutra, from different books. Okay, it's from the Majjhima Nikaya. Okay, there are 6 of them. Okay, but I put it on my terms that I believe that people can relate it to and easy to understand. So I translate it from Pali. Number 1 is observing precept. Okay, what is observing precept? And what is precept has something to do with good meditation. Okay, when you hear the word precept, you may think of like, oh, this is religious term, right? I don't want you to think like that. Okay, I want you to look at precept as a universal morality that everyone can practice. In the text, the Buddha mentioned about the 5 universal moral that everyone should practice, not preserved for Buddhists only. No, it's for everyone. You may have heard about that. First one, let me remind you. First one, abstain from harming others. Okay. Don't even kill. Forget about killing. We cannot do that. Okay, abstain from harming others. Second one, abstain from stealing, taking stuff that not belong to us. And the third one is abstaining from sexual misconduct. Okay, and number 4 is abstaining from false speech or lying. Okay, and the last one, number 5, is abstaining from intoxicant that scatter your mind. Okay, that's crowded your mind. So these 5 things are, as you can see, it's universal moral that everyone can practice. Nothing, it doesn't against any religious. So for us to have good meditation, okay, observing precept is what the Buddha suggests, to develop this kind of characteristic, to make sure that the body and speech is clean. Why? Because when you meditate with an unclean, behavior, something that bothering you, let's say you lie to people, you harm people, you hurt people's feelings, you do bad thing, and then you meditate and hope to have a good meditation. It's very difficult for you to calm your mind down when you did something bad. Okay, but if you observe 5 precepts, keep it clean, you are a worry-free mind. You are a worry-free person. So when you meditate, your mind is ready to come back and stay still. No need to calm them down because it's already calm. Okay, you feel good all the time. So you understand what I mean, right? And the second characteristic is sense control. Sense control means, sense, human sense organs, from eyes, what we see, objects, what we hear through the ears, what we smell through the nose, what we taste through the tongue, what we touch through the body. This is the sense, human sense. We receive information from the outside world to the inside world through these 5 sense door, from what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we touch. And when we see, we have a feeling toward what we see, whether you like, you dislike, or you feel nothing. Let's say you saw the new iPhone photo. You see the new phone, you may feel like, oh, I want to have one. My phone is old, even though you don't have enough money to buy it, but you still want to have that phone. So you allow that picture come to your mind and stay in your mind, and when you go meditate, you think of the phone. You cannot let go of that picture. This is something that the Buddha means by sense control. You control what you're not supposed to be seeing. Okay? But if you have sati, or if you are mindful enough, whatever you see may not bothering you that much. You can let go. Okay, new phone, so what? My phone is still working okay, so I don't need it now. Okay, if you at that level, okay, you have ability to control your sense door, and nothing much in the outside world can hurt or can harm or can bother your feeling when you go meditate. Okay, but for us who are new to meditation, sense control is very important. Let's say for the monks, when we go arms round in the morning, okay, monks usually live in the temple, nothing much in the temple, but when we go out the temple to get food from people in the village, we hear the music, we see women, we see television, we see newspaper, and when we come back to the temple, we bring that thing back with us. When we meditate, it's sometimes difficult to let go from what we see outside the temple, and that's the sense control. So in order for the monk to have good meditation, the monk need to have a very good sense control. Okay, and the third one, eating in moderation. This is similar from the previous discourse or previous sutra that mentioned that to maintain a healthy body, we have to eat right. Okay, and the Buddha himself, he himself eat 1 meal a day, and all the arahants, they all eat 1 meal a day. And Buddhist monk, we allowed to eat 2 meals a day. We don't eat dinner, and I realized that's very good. It's very helpful for us to have a good meditation, because our body is feel very light. We digest whatever we have from breakfast and lunch completely. The food is completely gone. We have enough energy to practice meditation. But if we eat dinner, especially heavy dinner, usually we will not have a good meditation session at night time. So you can work around on that. So eat something that easy to digest. Eat something that help you to have a healthier life. Okay, so eating is important. And number 4 is enthusiasm. Okay, stay alert, stay active, not lazy. These characteristics, telling us that you cannot be success if you are a lazy person. Okay, meditation is good. You have a good teacher. You have access to the good teaching, but you're lazy to practice. Okay, you go nowhere. So don't be lazy. Okay, stay active, stay enthusiastic, stay alert, and enjoy learning. Okay, enjoy doing it. And number 5 is mindfulness. Mindfulness in this case means you always mindful of what you do, not just when you meditate. When you open your eyes, when you wake up, when you go toilet, when you eat, when you get dressed, when you get on the bus, when you go to work, whatever you do, you stay attentiveness. You stay at the present moment. When you brush your teeth, you brush your teeth. You don't brush your teeth and think of checking email or appointment. You just brush your teeth. When you eat, you enjoy the taste of the food that you eat. You feel every taste. You feel the texture of the food, the meat, the rice. Stay with eating, and that's how we develop mindfulness practice. And this is very helpful to me. Number 5 is the most important. Okay, this characteristic is the most important. And number 6, the last one, is talk less and observe more. Okay, this is very useful as well. So I don't know if you realize that the more you talk, the more the mind stay outside. But when you stop talking, the mind stay inside. The more you talk, the more you think. The more you think, the mind stay outside. Same thing. Okay, that's why in some retreat they call it silent retreat. They not allow you to talk, because they want you to stay with your own self. They want your mind to stay inside. Okay, so talk less and observe more. So just observe. Okay, observe the reality. Observe your own feeling. what happened in that moment when you sit. You feel anything, you hear anything, your body expand, or you feel like you are floating up in the sky, or you feel heaviness of the body. You just observe, okay? Just observe. And if you have question, again, approach your teacher and ask them. So when I first ordained, the training was very intense. They allow us to do, they suggest us to, they call it three less and one more. What are the three less? We suggest to eat less, to talk less, and to sleep less. Eat less, talk less, and sleep less. And we are recommended to do one thing more, to meditate more. So we meditate 6 or 8 hours a day, but we eat very little. We rarely talk to each other, and we sleep like 4 hours a day. And at the end, I feel like it's very useful, okay, to be in that environment, that kind of training, long enough, 3 months, 6 months, and then I see the result. And that's number 6, okay. So we're almost done. Just stay with me. And this is something that Luang Pi found from one of the teaching of the Buddha, okay. This is the foundation. Joyful mind is the foundation of having good meditation. And to me, I believe it's true, okay. When you meditate with happy mind, with joyful mind, you start off with something you feel good about it. You may recollect the good deed that you have done. Let's say you help others, you share the Dhamma with people, or maybe you give the food to the beggar. You think of something good, the good things that you have done, and then you allow that thinking, okay, to soothe your mind, to calm your mind down. So you meditate with happy mind. This is one of the techniques that very effective, at least for myself, okay. Or some people may start off with sharing loving kindness, let go of the anger, forgive people, whoever hurt your feeling, just let go, just forgive them, and then meditate. It may be difficult at the beginning, okay, but after you practice for a little while, you will be comfortable to forgive people whom you don't like, okay. So joyful mind is important. So keep your mind joyful, keep your mind cheerful, have positive thinking, easy to let go, easy to forgive, okay. Make yourself, okay, train yourself toward that direction, okay, not something opposite. Okay, this is the last slide. If you remember nothing, okay, so take this with you. I believe mindfulness is the only one word. If someone asks me, Luang Pi, can you give me one word to help me improve my meditation? I would say mindfulness. This word has a very deep meaning. If you are mindful for everything you do, meditation is a piece of cake. Because meditation is the stillness of the mind. In order for the mind to be still, it's not just still when you close your eye. We have less time closing our eye comparing to the time that we open up the eyes. Right? We go out, we work, we meet with people, we open eyes, we talk, we do things, we think. If we are mindful in those activities, when it's time to meditate, you close your eye, the mind is very easy for the mind to come back and stay still. Okay, so take that with you, mindfulness, if you remember nothing. So develop this characteristic, okay. So what we have learned today, we have learned about characteristic of good meditator, okay. The 2 sets of them, I hope you remember. This is the one. The first one is faith, healthy, honest, perseverance, and wisdom, okay. And the second set of characteristics from the Buddhist Text is, observe precept or universal morality, sense control, eating right, enthusiasm, mindfulness, and talk less and be a good observer. Okay, so with that, Luang Pi done for today.